Boom! What's going on, everyone? Steve Larsen, very excited for OFA. This is the final week. We're in the final few days. I am very pumped about it. Very, very excited. Very excited if you guys are here. And we have a very, very powerful concept for you guys. The saddest thing ever is to see someone build this amazing funnel and then no traffic actually gets to it. We don't want you to do that. That is not the purpose of this, right? A funnel without traffic is nothing. A funnel without traffic is dead, right? Traffic is the money. Traffic is, right? They're people, obviously, okay? But the traffic is the most important piece, okay? Today what we're going to talk about the Dream 100. And this is a concept that is in both books, both the .com secrets and expert secrets books. Okay, there's not a lot of other places where this is in both sides. Okay, there's not a lot of concepts that are in both sides. All right, I used to do a lot of backpacking growing up. Okay, I did a lot of backpacking growing up, and let me pause for a second here. What am I doing right now? I'm about to go into a story. Why would I do that? Okay, if I just come in and tell you the thing, you don't, right? Every time I come in and just tell a little nugget, everyone forgets the nugget. Okay? So let me tell a story, because as soon as I wrap the nugget in a story, you guys are going to remember it. All right, resume. Okay. All right. So I used to do a lot of backpacking growing up. When I was in high school, I was 35% body fat. I was a big kid. I had a double chin. I was working on that triple. I was a big kid. I used to go and I would do a lot of backpacking, and through backpacking and working out every day, I lost 45 pounds, which was awesome. And anyways, one time we were backpacking and went on a 3-week backpacking trip. 3 weeks backpacking. That's a long time. Okay. I was on this 3-week backpacking trip, and I remember it was at the end of week number 2. We had set up all these little points for us to go get food, right? And to get food and fuel, and you know what I mean, all the stuff that we needed in order to actually live and survive, right? And so I was loving it, honestly, just being out for 3 straight weeks. That's like you get to know yourself a little bit in those kinds of scenarios, right? And we're taking ice axes, and we're going way above tree line and climbing up ice walls and stuff. We did tons of crazy stuff. It was a lot of fun. Well, there's this one point at the end of 2 weeks where we were going to go get water. And we had mapped out really, really well where all these rivers were and where all these streams were. And we knew exactly where to go get each thing, right? The next pieces, the next things of water and the next food and whatever. Anyway, so we get to the end of this 2 weeks, and we go and we start walking up to this place where we're going to go. We have our pumps and we're pumping water, and that's how we were living, Well, we're really high altitude. We get to this creek, right? We get to this river the day before. No, it was a lake. Sorry. We go to this lake, and the lake is all but dried up. And if you have seen lakes where there's almost no water inside of them, they're disgusting. They smell terrible. There's like parasites all over it. It was like the most nasty, nasty bugs and like animals, dead animals, sick things all over. Like it was not pretty. Okay. Well, the very next day we're like, well, let's not get water here because this is freaky. So we're all sipping on our water, trying to make it last, which is dangerous, obviously. Right. And so we go over and we start getting into this next area where we're going to go refuel our water. And it was fed by that lake. And so there was no water. It was complete. And we were like, crap kind of hits the fan when especially when you're backpacking, you're breathing like crazy, right? You're sweating. It's hard, right? You know what I mean? And stuff started getting kind of serious. And so what we did that night is, so there's no water. And we were still a couple days away from being back at like a base camp. So what we did is we took all of our water and we put it all together, and we started rationing water. And that's never fun. And so we start rationing this water. And, I'll tell you what we didn't do. We didn't go stand in the dried riverbed and take a shovel, and we didn't start digging. Okay? That's what we did not do. And instead, right, we went and we started looking for another river. And we go around, and everything worked out okay, obviously. I'm here in front of you. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because too many times what I've noticed is that people build these funnels. Here's the tie-in. Okay? People go out and they build these funnels. They build the funnel, and then they're like, the funnel's not working. It's like, no, you don't have any traffic, right? You don't have any traffic. Okay, I think of traffic like a river. Okay? And you buy the customer somehow, my friends. I want you to understand this clearly. I wish someone took my head and just shook it at the beginning and said, hey, not that my head needs more shaking, but I was like, check it out, right? You're going to buy the customer somehow. You're going to buy them somehow. You have to buy them somehow. You're going to buy, there's 4 ways I like to think of purchasing a customer in. Number 1, the first way you're going to purchase customers, right, is with time. Okay, there's 2 kinds of time. Okay, one kind of time is when, let's say you know your script, you know your pitch, you know the story. Okay, and if I go out and I start walking around, I'm walking around let's say I go to a mall, and for some reason people at a mall are the people, right? I go and I'm saying my script to an individual. This is why funnels are so cool. If I walk out and I start saying my script to an individual, do I ever get that time back? No, right? No, it's gone. It's gone, right? Done. Donezo, right? Gone. Time's gone. Now that means the next person I go pitch, I have to use that same amount of time again, and use that time to go pitch another individual. And it might be a little bit different this time. I can't measure how well it actually went, right? So there's one kind of time, and it's time that is gone, right? It's time that's like an empty, it's gone. Gonzo, donezo, okay? I hate using that kind of time. That time drives me crazy. I do not use that kind of time. And a lot of people do use that kind of time. They're cool with it. I'm not. That's the magic of funnels. Okay, so that's the first kind of time you can use to purchase a customer. You can. I don't recommend it. Second kind of time are things that is repeatable time. That's the reason we publish so much. Okay, I'm publishing like a freaking animal, because if I go and that's repeatable time, I do 1 episode, a lot of people are going to hear it. I never have to do that episode again. And even though I started my show 2 years ago, there are brand new people every single day that are finding my show. I don't have to say the story again, right? It's repeatable time, okay? I don't have to say a story again. They're being brought into my fold. They're getting indoctrinated. I'm telling them the stories. Their walls are starting to drop. Their beliefs are starting to change. And now they're finally like, oh man, that dude has huge eyeballs. But you know what? He's got good stories and his products are probably great. And it starts to drop the walls, okay? So time, repeatable time. The third way, okay, is ads, okay? You're going to buy your customers with ads, okay? But most people are like, oh, I'm not going to go publish. You better have some freaking deep pockets then, or be willing to spend a lot of one-on-ones pitching time. I'm not willing to do one-on-one pitch time. I'm willing to do one-to-many pitch time where time's repeatable and duplicatable without me having to do anything. I don't want to go spend ad money for a while until my customers actually start paying me. That's why I don't take profit for a while. I just dump it right back into ads, because this increases my speed. Ads. Ads are amazing. If you don't have any money, publish. If you're not willing to publish, get real, okay? I don't want to publish. Are you really serious about the game then? Okay. Someone out there is willing to hear your voice. You don't have to be a psycho like me to actually get people to follow you, okay? One of the things I've noticed, people start to come to me. They're like, Steven, I can't go do the thing. I can't do publishing because I need to be like you in order to do that. No, you don't. Everyone say no, boo. No, you don't. Guys, I'm a psycho when it comes to this, okay? Too many times I noticed someone's like, you got to be like Steve Larsen. You got to be like Steve Larsen in order to be the attractive character. No. Like I'm like on the cusp of this crap, doing all this stuff that is not normal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't compare yourself to me, right? Fastest way for you to fail is compare yourself to somebody else. Compare you to where you were yesterday. That's the only comparison that matters. That's the only game and race you're playing. That's your only real competition, to be honest. There's not much other competition out there in general. Okay, check this out though. Okay, so there's time, one-to-one time, repeatable time, publishing. That's amazing. That duplicates me. And now I have almost 300 episodes between my 2 shows. What? You know how many pitchmen that is out there pitching my people softly? They don't even know that I'm pitching them. I'm just telling stories. That's amazing. That's amazing. I've duplicated the crap out of my time. Okay. Third, ads. The fourth way to purchase a customer is to stand in front of existing rivers. Okay. Stand in front of existing rivers. All right. I did not take a shovel and start digging down into that dry creek bed, that dry river bed, to start trying to find water, okay? Traffic is the water for your business. Traffic is what keeps you alive, right? So Dream 100 is like one of the most misunderstood concepts in this entire game, okay? So what I wanted to do real quick is I want to go in and I want to teach you guys how I personally have pulled off some Dream 100 campaigns and concepts. Is that cool? Okay. Anyway, so I want to walk through and do that with you guys. That's the point of today. So what I did, what took me a little bit longer, is I went through and I grabbed a few campaigns of myself, things that I've done. So I've collected a few things here. I'm excited. I'm going to share them with you guys so you guys can see how I've done this stuff. This is not the freaking Energizer Bunny. This is the freaking Dynamo Storyteller. Right? Okay, so one thing you have to understand, first of all, is understand that traffic is not something that you create, just like Russell said in today's training. Traffic already exists. Traffic's already there. Traffic is out there. People are moving, which is really fun because now you don't have to be like, I got to go create traffic. No. It's all about you just actually siphoning off some traffic. Just go stand in front of the river that's already moving. If there's a parade that's moving, how do you stand in front of the parade? What's up? I see you're thirsty in this parade. You want water? They're like, yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, does that make sense? There's already people with already burning desires, looking for things that are similar to what you're, to what you're producing, what you're offering to the marketplace. Okay, so what Dream 100 is this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go drive in. I want to share with you guys one of the concepts that I currently have running through my head. It's how I've launched my shows, my publishing. It's how I've launched Dream 100 stuff. It's frankly a lot of the reason why you guys know who I am, okay, is because of this concept right here. This is a big concept here. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's go to trusty paintbrush, and so I can share with you guys just this one thing. All right. Nice. Share the screen. Boom, bam, sing to me. What? Okay, here we go. So, guys, you have to be honest with yourself right now and just get real with yourself. How much influence do you currently have on your dream customers right now? Let me open up the chat. How much influence do you currently have on your dream customers right now? Right? Zero, right? Not much, not much. And that's okay. That's okay. Remember, your self-worth is not determined by that. That people get kind of down about that. Well, I don't have any influence. Well, yeah, you just started, okay? Okay. I only started this stuff really only like 2 years ago, though. Okay, and it's amazing. It's really only like half a year into it. Everything started changing in my life. Everything. Okay. Sometimes, just like what I was saying before, right? A lot of people just don't stay in the game long enough to learn the game. Okay, so check this out. So you guys see my screen here, right? Okay, cool, yeah. So let's say this represents you and your level of influence. Okay. Now, how much influence do you have, right? Not much. There's somebody, though, in your market who has got just a little bit more influence than you do. Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit more influence than you do. Oh, sweet, check it out. Look at that. You got a little more influence than I do. That's amazing. Okay, and then there's someone who's got just a little bit more than that and a little bit more than they do. Pretty soon we start getting to big people. Oh my gosh, huge people, huge people, right? And then we got some at the very, very top right up here, massive amount of influence right up here at the top. So let's go and name these, right? Let's say that this is you. All right. Boom, boom, boom. You guys didn't know that in this, you guys are going to get a crash course in paint. Seems like every lesson I'm pulling up paint. Okay. This is you though, right? And let's say we're going along. And let's say it's Russell Brunson, right? Russell Brunson's going along like, wow, cool. Let's keep going along. It's going along. Oh, it's the Pope. Pope's got a lot of influence. Wow. Right? Let's keep going along. Who's at the very top? Who's at the very top? Who'd you say is at the very, very top? Yeah, Kyle knows, right? To avoid all political or religious debate, Batman's at the top. Okay, Batman's at the top. Batman's the number one up there. Boom, right there. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. Right, Batman's at the top, and he's got the most influence. Right? Or whoever is at the very top for you, okay? Okay. Now, if you look at this, check this out. If I just get this person right here, look at all that extra influence this person has right here. That's amazing. That's way more influence than I've got right now, right here, right? I got like this much influence, just a little bit of influence, right? Not that much. That's a lot more influence, okay? If I go in and they've got this river that's flowing to them. They've got attention. They've got a little bit of influence. They have eyeballs on them. They've got some influence, right? Attention. They've got this little tiny river that's moving towards them. Steve Larsen. Okay. They got a little bit of influence that's going towards them. If I just get them to say my name to their river, what's going to happen? A little bit of people, right, are going to go siphon off just a little bit over to me and my product. And if I'm like, hey, here's this cool free thing. So we're having you make a cool front-end product right now, right? Because you go to these influencers and be like, hey, check this out. It's a free thing. It's on your squeeze page, right? It's this free thing. And go ahead and drop it on it, right? Anyway, and then you go in. And let's say after a while, you actually leveled up, right? The level of influence that you have attained has actually increased a little bit. Boom, you've now gone up. In my mind, I have this concept, okay? This concept is running through my head. I call it reach 2 levels up. So at all times, I'm trying to reach 2 levels up, right? What does that have to do with the Dream 100? Has everything to do with Dream 100, okay? Okay, so this is what I did, is I went back through and I'm reaching 2 levels up. Not the person directly above me. They're kind of easy to go, for me to go and get, right? But let's say that I'm selling, right? Remember, we got health, wealth, relationships, right? And let's say that I'm selling health. Oh, I mean protein powder. I'm selling health through protein powder. Right? I'm selling this protein powder right here. Protein powder. Who are all of the influencers that are actually selling protein powder, right? There's all these people that are inside of this ocean right there selling protein who have attention. They've got big lists, and you have got something in that area as well that could go comparable with those people, okay? I have the same name lead singer as Slipknot, so when people mention name, it causes some confusion. Man, I would use that. Send pictures of the Slipknot person to their people. Okay, just say you aren't the guy, but that will relate to you. Yeah, exactly, right? Okay, so check this out, right? So when I go out, and now someone brought up the great point here, right? Am I competing with these people in the red ocean right here? Am I competing with these other influencers? No. So this is how the game is played. Is I'm going to go in, I'm going to see how I can add value to Russell, to the Pope, to Batman. I'd love to see the Pope's protein powder. Who knows what it is, right? I love it, right? But they have these different tiers of influence, these different tiers of eyeballs that are currently going towards them, right? So instead of me taking out a shovel and starting to dig my own river, which costs time, money, energy, it takes a long time to build a following. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of output for you to build a following, okay? Instead, go talk to the people that are owning their own river and say, hey, do you mind if I just I don't know, it's this free thing, your audience might like it, whatever, all right, sweet. Right, and that's totally how I started. That's exactly, I've done it many times. So it's this free thing, it's whatever, it'll just help your audience with what you're selling. You cool with that? All right, sweet, cool, all right, awesome, yeah, there it is, everybody. What does that do though? Right, if I'm like, hey, check it out, I got this cool thing, and here's my squeeze page, I'm like, here's this cool squeeze page, and bam, what did I just do? I just added people onto my list. Woo! Isn't that amazing? I just added people onto my list. That's what leading with a free thing that adds value, leading with a free thing that makes the influencer look like a rock star. That's one of the major reasons this thing works so well. Guys, the game is about status, okay? Status. I'm not saying status in like a negative sense, okay? But you have to think about it. It takes a lot of energy to build a following. So what does that mean? It means they are going to protect their following like crazy. So how do you get them to name drop you to their audience? By increasing their status and protecting from decrease of status. Okay? I want the only option to be them looking like a rock star in front of their people. That's it. That's it. And some of the easiest ways to do that, lead with your free thing. Hey, if you want, you can drop it out to them. I don't know, to see if they like it, right? Or I had a guy once. He came out to me and he said, "Hey man, I bought one of your products. It was awesome, but there's a few things I didn't like with it, so I paid for my own coders to go in and make it better." And then I filmed like this really cool video, this series, a startup guide, so you don't have to make it. Yeah, here you go. Anyways, just plug it into your current page and bam. And he literally upgraded my product for me in ways I didn't even think was possible, and made a startup guide and just made me look like a rock star in front of my audience. That's very key, very key. And then about 6 weeks later, he came back out to me and he said, "Hey, do you mind if I interview you for this new product I'm putting out? And you'll be the first interview on there." What am I going to say? Of course, the dude scratched my back like crazy. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, yeah, of course, right? The dude led with value. He led with value. That's the whole point. That's how you get, that's how you, right? A customer, let me move this over here. Let me write this down. Right? You treat influencers different than a customer. Okay? I'm not saying you treat one amazing, one bad. I'm not saying that at all. We have to understand that the way you talk to an influencer is different than the way you talk to a customer. Both of them, you're leading with value, right? But the question you're trying to answer is, how do I make this influencer look like a beast in front of his own audience, in front of her own audience, right? How do I do that? And this is super, super awesome, because now you're leading with that. And then when I come back, I'm like, hey, you want to, I don't know, do you want to do like a little joint venture with me on this cool thing I've got? They're like, sure, right? So we call it the Dream 100. And the Dream 100 is the way that you actually go. It's the list of people that you write down that you're going to try and create a relationship with that eventually will lead, right? Eventually will lead into some kind of joint partnership. Really, really, really fast, easy thing. Super. This is like one of the hijack fast methods to really fast wealth. Okay. Here's what I've noticed. Okay. Now we've taught you guys, look, go create, right? You're gonna spend money on ads, right? We've got this cool break-even funnel. You're gonna go, right? You're publishing and you're bringing people in that way. You're bringing people into your ads. There's a lot of ways to do it, right? And what I've noticed is that as I go in, right, the money that we're gonna go into this in a second. I want to show you guys a letter that I wrote to these people. Okay. Okay. The money that comes to me from ads, because ads at the beginning sometimes aren't amazing, right? But it's kind of like, woo, woo, right? That's kind of usually ad money, and it'll slowly start to increase kind of like that. That's like the revenue I usually expect from ads, kind of up and down like that, and kind of like increasing over time, right? Ads. Podcasting, right? Or publishing in general, same kind of thing, because no one knows who you are at the beginning, right? Right? There's going to be this spot, several months in where suddenly you're going to start getting some traction. Woo! Holy smokes, look at that, right? That's like from you publishing. Okay, publish. All right, now check this out. Check this out. From you going in and talk, how would you approach this using Facebook ads? Facebook, same way, the exact same way. Right now, the money that comes in from Dream 100 is like no money for a while, and then bam, right, and then no money for a while, and then bam, like the huge cash in moments, right? Typically from Dream 100, right? It's like no money for a while, and then one of them decides to promote you, and then boosh, cash influx, woo, right? That's huge. Then cash influx, boom, woo, that's huge. And you only dump that back in. That's usually where I find that my traffic usually comes from, right? If you start doing something like affiliate campaigns, right? ClickFunnels has affiliate campaigns, right? It's kind of a little bit bigger, right? None for a while, and then boom. That's kind of what I notice as well. The revenue happens there. Affiliates and Dream 100s are not the same thing. Affiliate. Okay. Does that make sense? Now it just looks like spaghetti. But anyway, yeah. So I just want you guys to understand that, first of all. Okay. So one of the things that I did, can I walk through a few campaigns? I need you to understand more about this stuff, and why it's so powerful. Okay. I got my notes here, so I'm just making sure that I got it here. Anyways, make sure you build the river. Build the river versus talking to the river owner. Make sure you actually go talk to the river owner. Guys, so one of the things that I did here, and this is not at all how you have to do that. One of the questions that I noticed people will get stuck on with Dream 100 is they're like, well, who do I put on my Dream 100 list? How many of you guys are struggling with that, right? Totally get it. Who actually goes on my Dream 100 list, right? Several hand raises, several people saying yep, right? Okay, cool. Totally get it. Now think about this. If I need my name dropped, if I need my product or my free squeeze page thing said to people, who would be best for me to go try and get a relationship with? Somebody who currently has a list, right, that they communicate with frequently, or somebody who doesn't? Okay, now that's a stupid question, right? Obviously those who are going out and say, look, I've got all these people, right? So one of the things that I do personally that really, really has helped is I like to go get people on my Dream 100 list, right? Who are the biggest people on Facebook? Who are the biggest people on YouTube, Instagram, right? Email lists. Who are the people that have the biggest lists, but also are publishers? Okay, if I can find that kind of person, whoo, wow. Why? Check this out. Check this out. Okay, let me going back to trusty paintbrush. Paintbrush, here we go. This is very, very, very helpful. For my products and my campaigns. Okay. Okay. So I've got these influencers, right? And if I got an influencer right here, woo, what's up? I'm an influencer. Okay. And you've got all these people, whoop, they've got this asset, right? And we've talked to you and we've taught you guys in this course, right? The real asset of the internet is the list. And if you want access to that individual's list, that's not something that comes very, very easily. But when it happens, we're talking fast levels of success, right? We're talking fast. Those are like a bam, huge cash dumps that happen when you can dive on in there and do these huge things with these people. Okay. So if I go out and I've got, all right, we got health, wealth, relationships, right? And we've got, let's say I'm selling wealth. Oh, I mean, real estate training, wealth. You're selling wealth through the commodity of real estate, right? And I want to sell to these people right here. Well, there's a whole bunch of people, right? Big influencers down to little influencers that are already in there, that already have followings, that already have eyeballs, that are, right? So I'm going to go in and I want to see who is publishing. This is big. And this is one of the biggest hacks to the Dream 100 I can offer you guys. This is personally the way I've been able to pull it off and do it. Okay. As I've been able to do this right here. So I make a list, just like Russell was talking about, of who I don't necessarily care who the biggest people are on Facebook. I don't necessarily care who the biggest people are on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Okay. Like the platform for me matters less. What I'm trying to figure out is who the big influencers are right here in this ocean and who also is publishing. Between those two crosses, that's the person that I go find, right? Because here's something I can tell you as a content producer. I am always looking for new ways to produce cool content. And so if I come to you, right, or if someone comes to me and they're like, Steven, I got this amazing thing. I want to give it to your audience for free. Do you mind if I do that? And you can get on, like, if you get on my show, what does that do to you, right? Get 1,000 downloads a day right now, baby. Woo, right? That's smoking. I'm loving that. Super cool. But what does that do for you? Man, you siphoned off a piece of that river, shoom, slammed it directly into your thing, okay? Right into what you're doing. And you just fueled a whole massive amount of people, boom, straight on in. Now, the thing that's scary about Dream 100, right? It's not fun to test your offer on other people's lists. That is a scenario where it's not cool, right? Because it could make me look like an idiot in front of my audience. Does that make sense? It could be a status decrease. So if you got a brand new thing and you've never driven traffic to it before ever, and you don't actually know if it helps people yet, and you don't actually, and you kind of think it does, and it doesn't actually convert yet, and it's not actually, you know what I'm saying? Right? To use somebody else's list, an influencer's list, someone on here, that is a recipe for you never getting somebody else. Because guess what? That's a recipe for you never getting somebody else to promote your thing ever. Because guess what? These people all talk to each other. There was a guy who came once and he was trying to get me to speak at an event. And I was like, I don't know if it's really going to work out for me. And he's like, no. We got these massive influencers in your market, right? These other big people who've already said yes. I was like, sweet. So what did I do? Man, I freaking Facebook messaged him, okay? And I said, what's up, man? Hey, are you talking to this guy's thing? We talk all the time. We got relationships, right? Because I've been doing what I'm talking about, right? And they're like, no, I've never heard of that. And I was like, oh, gotcha, sucker. And I went back to the guy and I was like, hey, man, I know you're full of crap. Heck no, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, well, they haven't said yes yet, but we're here to actually go. We're actually going to, we're going to go out to those people. We're going to ask them. I was like, that is very different, my friend, than you telling me that they are doing it, right? Totally different. I was like, okay. So like, you got to understand that, like, the perfect way to do this in order of launching this stuff is I go out, start publishing, get people to your thing, spend $50 on ads, right? Take that money, dump right back into it, right? Pretty soon it's going to be this profitable thing, or at least break even. Now that you know it's working, in order to save your status and save future ability for you to be doing something with anybody in the future, right? Then go out and start leveraging other people's lists that have already been created, right? The rivers they've already spent tons of their careers putting together. Then go. Otherwise, my Lanta, my friends, it is not a good recipe. And it is a recipe for disaster, and it's a great way for you to never get an offer accepted again, okay? Or at least for a while. I can tell you that individual, I know exactly who it is. I will never do anything with that person ever again, ever. It was so freaking sketchy, right? And I've warned other people about this individual now, right? Why? You guys, it's a tightly knit group. How many people are inside of this red ocean who are influencers? The list gets tiny, right? There's not a huge list of people, right? We freaking talk to each other. Does that make sense? Your people are doing the same thing, right? So I'm just telling you, that's the little warning. That's the little warning I can give you guys. Before you do not test your funnel on someone else's list. Okay. Once you know it is converting though, and once you know there is a huge amount of value, then go do it. Then start creating that relationship. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next challenge. You're not going to be anywhere yet, right? Rinse and repeat, baby. You're going to be on to something else. Or the road's just going to be quite a bit longer. Okay. Just a little friendly advice there on that one. Okay. So what I did, guys, now this is what I personally did. I like to find, like I said, these are my 2 criteria I look for. Number 1, are they an influencer? And I go in and I like to tier them, right? So like, okay, here's a C level influencer. Here's a B level influencer. That's, I'm not spelling this right, whatever. Okay. All right. Then A level influencers and C level influencers. Those are the people that don't have as much influence. It's hard to type and talk at the same time. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Those are the people that are right here at the bottom, right? They're easier. They don't have tons of influence yet, but they're getting some eyeballs. They're the people that are easiest for you to go approach, right? B level. Those are the people that are a little bit harder, not impossible though. A-level influencers are very challenging to get a hold of. They are the people that have gates all around them, right? Gatekeepers all over the place, right? So what I want to do is I don't want to make a Dream 100 list that's straight A-level influencers. That's going to be very emotionally taxing because you're going to have a very small amount of them actually agreeing to do anything with you, okay? So I put a lot of C-level, some B, and a few A's. That's how I do it, right? So lots of C, little bit of B, some A. Right, some A-level influencer. And the reason I'm doing that is so that when I start launching little campaigns in order to go do these little JVs and little tiny projects with people, it's so that I personally have a few more wins, right? Otherwise, it's like, man, nobody is getting back to me. Oh my gosh, right? Sometimes the easiest way to get into some of these awesome influencer levels is by working from the bottom up because, right, they're going to start seeing these other C-level people working with these other people that are D, right? You haven't started out yet. You know what I'm saying? And they'll see it, boom, boom, boom. And then pretty soon you kind of cycle up to the A. And that's kind of how it happens. To the A level, big, massive influences, big lists, big, right? They could say your name and make you $1 million real fast. Those kinds of individuals, right? But it's just like a relationship. Sometimes it takes time. Just be cool about it. Don't stress out over it, right? Anyway. So what I did, all right, if I go in, I'm listing these different kinds of influencers. Plus, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody who is also publishing, right? Because if they're publishing, I know they're looking for content. They already have a distribution channel set, okay? Distribution channel is like second in priority, besides just speaking in general, right? Distribution channel is distribution is money. Okay, so if they've been publishing for a little while and they've got a show or they've got a thing or whatever, I want to become friends with that individual because people are watching them. So if they just say the thing, they say, hey, here's my squeeze page, here's my cool offer, here, whatever, free thing, free value, whatever. It's giving that individual more content to be able to provide back to their following and actually increase their status. Okay, so I'm saying, hey, so I make the list, I figure out on there who's publishing, and then the next thing I like to look through. This is not necessarily like the order of it. I'm looking for a combination of these things. I'm looking for somebody who has an offer that is most similar. Let me say this another way. I don't want to be similar. Okay. Most complementary to mine. Okay. All right. I don't want to compete with that individual. Okay. I don't want to compete with that individual. That's not the reason that I'm doing this. That is most complementary to mine. Boom. Let's put it this way. Okay. Because if I come into it and I'm like, hey, you're selling protein, so am I. Promote my thing. It's like, what? They're not going to, what? Your competition, right? Right. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see who the biggest influencers are. I'm looking to see who has distribution channels created and then who in there also has something where my thing would be complementary, not competitive. That is the magic recipe of what you're looking for, right? You're trying to be different enough so that you are complementary, not competitive. That's the combo. That's the secret sauce right there that I typically look for. Now, that's a lot of research. That's a lot of research. So there's two ways to go about it. Number one, you could just do the research, right? And what I would honestly do, if you're like, hey, I'm doing, to keep the same example going, protein powder or real estate, whatever, go to freaking iTunes and type in real estate, right, on podcasts and look at all the top podcasters and make a list of them and start creating a relationship with those individuals, okay? I've done it personally that way several times, right? Who has the biggest blogs? Well, really freaking easy. This thing called Google. Go to Google, blogs about real estate. I guarantee you there are whole blogs about blogs that are on real estate, right? And you could go in and start looking and seeing how much those, who the biggest people are, right? Go to like similarweb.com and you can see how many views their blog's getting each month, right? Start comparing who's big, right? There's a lot of research that goes into this, right? Anyway, it doesn't need to be hard though. So one of the things that I did, and I'm not telling you have to do it this way, guys, but that initial big brain dump of just like the who's who and the who has what back and forth of all this stuff, I didn't necessarily want to go through and do that myself. So one of the things that I did is I went and on freelancer.com, there's like data scientists that you could hire for like super cheap. And I was like, hey, I'm going into this market or whatever market, right? And this is person when I did, I'm going to go into this market and I want to, please tell me, I want to know who the top influencers are on the internet in this market. And tell me their shows. Tell me their products. Tell me their, if you can, tell me their business address. I want to know their business address. I want to know their business phone number. Tell me, right, what they're currently promoting. Tell me how many followers they have on all these social media channels. Tell me, right? And I had them go through and grab all this stuff. And I had two people do it. And they each gave me a list of like a couple hundred. And I had them do it separately so they didn't see. And I started comparing back and forth. And I went through and I started looking through these criteria. Who's publishing, right? Would this person be a C, B, or an A? Would this person, is my product going to be complementary or competitive with what that person's goals are and what their audience is all about? And I start sifting and sorting based on that. And that was very helpful because otherwise it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm not good at that kind of work. And so it helped me have clay ahead of time to be able to mold with. Is that helpful? This is awesome stuff. So anyways, that's what I did. Now what I did was now that I have this list, right, these data scientists, and they're seeing with some really cool software who actually is making the loudest noise on the internet. Okay. So it's not just, they're not just like guessing. They're seeing with some cool tools who is actually making the most noise, right? And I had to be careful that it wasn't just all A, right? I put some B level and some C level influencers all in there, right? Tons and tons of, right? Now I know, oh gosh, these guys are publishing. And I go and I see, okay, they got podcasts, they got blogs, they're going on YouTube, on Facebook all the time, or whatever. Like, oh, sweet, now let's get even more narrow. Get rid of that person. I would be competitive with them. Get rid of that person. I would be competitive with them. Boom. I'm left with this cool list. Now, how do I go to actually create value for that individual? And this is how I personally like to do it. Okay. This is how I personally like to do this. The first thing that I like to go do, you have to understand that an influencer, the way you speak to an influencer is very different than the way you speak to a customer. I'm going back to that idea. Okay. So what I did is I like to go in and write, was that week 2 where we start talking about scripts and stories, right? I do the same thing, but now with an influencer in mind, right? The first time I was doing it just with a customer in mind. How do I sell a customer on my squeeze page offer or product? How do I sell a customer on the site, right? Now, how do I sell the influencer on me? That's a different script. And that's why it works so well. I don't lead with my product. I don't lead with anything in my product. I lead with my origin story. Okay. So what I did is I wrote out, I totally will, Demetrius, 100%, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Influence.co. There's a bunch of tools that are out there that'll help you guys get all this data together. I'm just trying to teach you guys like a 30,000 foot view with this. Okay. If I can go in now and I can speak to an influencer differently than a customer, right? What motivates the customer? That's what a script is all about. Right? What's motivating a potential customer is they want the solution that my product gives them. That's not actually what's motivating a lot of times an influencer though. The influencer, sometimes they're just trying to find more cool things to give their audience. They're just trying to have more status increase in front of their people. Okay. It's very key to understand. Okay. You don't talk to them the same as a customer. Okay. So with that in mind, I wrote an influencer script. Okay. And this is what I did. The first thing that I went and did, all right, there's a few scenarios here. You guys have to understand with this. These people are busy. They're busy because they're successful. They're successful because they're busy. How on earth do you get their attention? There's a lot of ways to do it, right? Go in, you could grab a whole bunch of cool things. Anyway, there's a lot of ways you can add value to them, but that's the major thing is you have to figure out how to add value and get attention eventually. Russell in today's training mentioned it took him 10 years to finally get enough of Tony Robbins' attention to promote his book, right? So people are like, I don't know if I can wait 10 years. I get it. Yeah, I get it. So don't focus on A people then. Focus on B and C if that's you, okay? And start asking yourself, is this really what I want to do for a while? And if you don't know, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But like, just understand with the strategy, it's extremely powerful. Holy crap. Very, very, very powerful when you get someone of influence to mention your name. It's like almost insta success. My sister has now been mentioned many times on Russell's podcast, which is awesome. And I went and I grabbed, right. She came back from the thing she's doing, and I grabbed her and I trained her on how to do a lot of my podcast stuff, and she got good at it. And then she left, and then she went off and started doing it for other people. And the fact now that Russell has mentioned her a few times on his podcast, what did that do to her? More business than she can handle. Okay. That's what you're trying to do. But she didn't start messaging him. And you know how many freaking Facebook messages I have of people, hey, Steven, I was wondering if you could promote my thing. Freaking A, no, that is the wrong way to do it. Holy crap, that pisses me off, okay? You just said, Steven, can I just sit on the back of your hard work? No, I'm sick of that crap, right? That drives me nuts. You want to piss off an influencer? Lead with that, okay? Lead with that. That is not the way to do it, okay? There are a few people that might say yes to that, but you're going to strike out with so many people. So many people. Steven, well, can I just get on your podcast? No. It's my audience. I've worked my face off for these people for the last 2 years to get them in my world. Why on earth would I just put you on just because you asked? Okay, that's what I'm saying. You have got to approach them a little bit differently. Steven, could you just, what if you just did an email promoting your thing? No, because I'm busy writing emails promoting mine, okay? And so you got to understand what motivates these people. It is not your product, okay? You are not a godsend for their audience, okay? So you got to create a relationship. And too many people will sit back and make this a formulated thing. This is definitely art and science now, okay? I'm teaching you the science, but man, give it time. And know that relationships require time. I'm a very, 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 like, what's the word? I don't even know what the word is. I don't hang out with guys in the evenings. You know what I mean? I'm not like hanging out with people on the weekends. Like, this is what I do, right? You know what I mean? Because you start getting more into the personalities realm a little bit, which means each person is going to need to be courted a little bit differently. And that's okay. That's okay. But too many times, people go out to try a freaking Dream 100 thing like, it didn't work. I sent a package or I sent an email. It didn't work. I'm like, man, you just started. They don't even know if you're legit yet. Are you sold enough on your thing to stay in it long enough for them to promote you? Okay? There's been people I've gone out and I've done promoting for a while. And then in 6 months, they're like, I got kind of tired of it. What? I spent time on you, right? Are you serious? Okay, are you sold enough on what you're doing to be doing it long-term enough to convince an influencer that they should spend time with you? Okay, and when you are in this level, right, you're right here in this spot. You don't have a lot of influence yet. You're in this fragile state. Some of you guys don't know what you want to do yet. And if you don't know, that's like the most freakishly massive red flag to an influencer ever. Oh, what are you doing? Well, I've got this thing over here and I've got this thing over here. And I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. I'm like, cool. You want to promote me? No, I don't. In fact, it's almost a little bit offensive. Steven, I've got an idea. I got this sick idea, dude. Sick idea. what if you go build it? I'll give you 50% of it. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, what's keeping me from just doing the idea and keeping 100%? Okay. Because ideas are not value. Okay. So if you go to somebody and you're like, I got this sweet idea and I'm going to go out here. Here's this cool thing that I've got. Ideas are not value. Ideas are worth nothing. Okay. What you need to come to the table with for these influencers, I cut my hand again, is an asset, something of value. If you show up and all you've got is this little tiny thing, like, I'm not telling, right now, as soon as you start leveling up on these influencers tiers, like, it'll matter more and more and more. This matters less when you're talking about C-level people, okay? But when you start talking to these influencers, you are a risk. You are the risk, not your product, not your squeeze page thing. I don't care how good your squeeze page thing is, but if they don't see a level of like, this is what I want, this is what I'm going for, and they see that you're putting skin in the game, and they see that you've actually started developing an asset, and that's way more likely. How much of a gamble would it be for Tony Robbins if he promoted Russell Brunson the first time he reached out? Why wouldn't he say yes to Russell for a while, right? Number one, he's busy promoting his own thing. You got to understand that, right? Limited time. He has limited time. He's focused. That's why he is where he is. He is focused, right? But he's also not quite sure. Russell, is that actually what you want to do that? And Russell will talk about this. He'd be like, yeah, for a while, a lot of people didn't promote me because I would go to this and I go to this and I go to this and I'll go to this and I'll go to this. And I'd be like, this is what I want to do. And all these people would come in and buy. And then after a while, they'd be like, Russell would be like, oh my gosh, we could go do this. And he'd come over to this other thing. And he'd be like, this is now the best thing on the planet. And all these people in this other place were like, I thought you said this was the best thing on the planet. He's like, it is, but this is cool too. Come over here. And he would be causing schizophrenia in his own audience, causing schizophrenia. Right? This is the best. No, that's the best. No, this over here. Right? That's so freaking scary. That is insanely risky for an influencer. Okay. If you don't know what you want, like, start creating the relationship, but understand why they're going to tell you no. Okay. I just need you to know from like the other side of the coin, right? Now that, I know that I've reached 2 levels up. I did get 2 levels up. I reached 2 levels up. I did get 2 levels up, right? I'm just trying to tell you from being on the other side of the coin, I literally have, this is not a joke, thousands of unread Facebook messages right now, just on that one platform, right? Steven, what if we did a little JV together? Dude, I don't know you. Why on earth are you leading with that? Steven, why don't we do this together? Are you freaking kidding? I think it's really conceited that you're not willing to promote somebody else's product. I've had people get pissed off at me about that. I'm like, oh, baby, I'm about to throw my computer. All right. Whew, we will never do anything together if that's the way you approach me with that. I'm not saying you got to approach me like, kiss the ring, kiss my lucky hand. I'm not saying that. But when somebody comes to the table thinking that their idea is the asset, they're screwed. When someone comes to the table thinking like, oh my gosh, I've got this great thing. Steven, why don't you go build it? Pull the whole thing off. I'll give you 50%. I'm like, right? Or I can see they're like doing this and that and this and that and this and that and this. I'm like, man, you're a risk to my audience and my stature that I've worked hard for. No way. There's no way. I'm just trying to be real with you guys so you understand why that is. Why does Russell not promote other people's things? Number one, he's insanely focused. Number two, right? He doesn't know if the person's even going to be doing that thing in a while, right? Which means he's going to make content, right? Content. He's going to go make all this stuff and he's going to have his own content team. I spend 20 to 30 grand a month just on my content alone. I'm going to go create content around your thing and then you're not even going to be doing it in 6 months? What? No, not a chance. Not a chance. Okay. So I want to teach you guys real quick how you approach an influencer so that you don't look like an idiot and you don't look conceited and you're not a jerk about it either. A little passionate Papa Larsen came out in that one. I'm feeling that. Here we are. Check this out. A customer and an influencer are motivated very differently. A customer is motivated, right, by getting their problem answered by your product. An influencer is motivated by status increase. That's what an influencer is motivated by. Status increase. Not to make them look like, look at me. That's not it at all. They've just worked their face off to get where they are. And you just entered in as this other variable, super risky to where they are. Super risky. You have to get that. You have to understand that. It's not an attack on you. Your idea is nothing though, right? You don't have a real asset for a while. So create the relationship, spend time doing it. Forever, I did not even talk about people trying to promote my thing. I just was nice, okay? I just talked about them on my show, right? Your show is massive leverage for getting access to these people, by the way. Whatever you're publishing, it's like one of the easiest ways to get massive influencers to come on in, okay? Check this out. All right, check this out. So, influencer motivated by status increase, okay? Okay, they're working their face off. They don't need another opportunity. I like throw up a little bit in my mouth. There's so many people that reach out to me with that line. I don't know why, specifically on LinkedIn. It's like the space for that right now. And no, Facebook too. Stephen, I got an amazing opportunity for you. You don't think I've got enough of them already? It's crazy. I am where I am because I've got them. I am where I am because I built the opportunities, right? And you go to an influencer, I got an amazing opportunity for you. Yeah, great. I don't care. It's like, it's annoying. I actually don't, I do not respond to those people even. Like, are you serious? I got an amazing opportunity for you. You don't understand how the game's played then. Okay, check this out. First thing I did is I needed to lead with my origin story. That is number one. Okay, I led with my origin story. Okay, and I did it in a way so that there was a few outcomes. I did it in a way so that there was a status increase, right? I added value. Yeah, I really did. Okay, added value, status increase, added value, which also protected their status. Okay, and no pitch. Okay, kind of understand where these people have come from. It is their obsession. They are already far obsessed, far more obsessed than 99% of the rest of the market. I got an opportunity for you. They don't care. They've made their own opportunities. That's why they are where they are. Okay. So I led with my origin story. Check this out. Okay. So one of the first things I did here, I'm going to show you guys this cool letter that I wrote. I wanted to reach out to these people. They're hard to get a hold of, usually a little bit harder. They are, don't get offended by that. Okay. But they're a little bit harder to get a hold of because they're busy, right? And they're successful because they're busy. And they're busy because they're successful. Okay. So you're entering in, you're interrupting them. Okay. So know that this stuff can take a little bit of time. So you're doing it a lot of times you're doing it as gently as you possibly can. So what I like to do is I like to send them a package. Okay. This is totally a Chet Holmes-ism. This is totally right. Dream 100 is not package sending. It's just creating value and creating relationships. A way to do Dream 100 stuff, a way to deliver the script is through packages. Okay. So one of the first things I did, I got these toy microphones right here. And we usually see a Dream 100 campaign. Like if you go out and you're reaching out to about 100 people, if you get about 5 of the 100 to like respond and say yes to you on promoting your thing, that's awesome. Because about 3 really will, or 2. Okay. But it doesn't take many. And then suddenly, boom, huge. You know what's funny is that once 2 of them say yes and you do it successfully, you go back to their 98 and say, hey, we just did a campaign with these guys. They made a whole bunch of money. You want to do it? It's really kind of cool. Now you have the actual proof. And now you've now proved yourself as you're not a risk anymore. You've proved you are now the asset, not your thing, right? Your audience is now the asset, right? Your product becomes an asset rather than a risk when that happens. Okay. Then you go back, you're like, it's the other 98. Hey, we just did 2 awesome campaigns with these guys. Check it out. And they're like, oh, sweet. That is sick. That's really, really cool. Yeah. Hey, when do you want to do it? When are you free? We're noticing it gets about $4 earnings per click, right? And they're like, oh, check it out. Like, yeah. If you got a list, you got like 20,000 people on your list, $4 earnings per click. That's a big payday for you, man. Right? Even if only 10% buy, you're going to make several, 10, 20 grand in a day off this. When do you want to do it? Does that make sense? Now you're an asset. You're looking for, what I look for is 1 or 2 C-level influencers to do this successfully with, and then cycle up to the B levels, and then cycle up to the A levels. Okay. That's how I'm doing it. Okay. So what I did is I went and I jumped out and I created this, I put this stupid little toy microphone. It does not need to be expensive. Okay. I'm not saying you have to spend money on this either. This is a method, right? You literally could just go do what this other guy did, right? By one of the fun ways I've reached out to people. You guys know the Squatty Potty commercial guys, the Harmon brothers? I wanted them to know who I was. So one day what I did is I pulled up their website, I pulled up their stuff, and I recorded my screen, and I did a free critique on every piece inside of it. And they were like, "Is this super cool?" And then I just sent it to their support. I was like, "Hey, could you put this in the right hands? It'd be a way you guys can make more money off this thing." That was it. Well, that got passed off to this person. That got passed off to that person. Went all the way up to like the head of marketing for Harmon Brothers, right? And no, it wasn't Harmon Brothers. It was VidAngel. You guys remember VidAngel? It was VidAngel. And I started doing free consulting for them. What did I do? I didn't ask anything, but I gave this amazing value add, huge value. I did like, "Who are you?" Like, "Oh, just I build funnels and stuff like that. I'd love to be able to chat with you guys." I just wanted to know who I was. That's it. That's it. Doesn't need, so whatever your thing is, it's just about adding value. That's all the game is about. But this is a method. So one of the methods I use, stupid little toy microphone. I put it in this bright fluorescent bag and rolled it on up, not neatly, because this gets past, right? This gets past the gatekeepers. This gets past secretaries. This gets past, right? Letters get opened by secretaries. Letters get opened by assistants and executive assistants. But a package, I remember I opened Russell's packages once to try and help him. I thought I was being helpful. He was a little bit mad about it. He wasn't mad, but he was like, I could tell that I had done something that was not right. Like, I never opened another one of that guy's packages again after that. Okay. It's like Christmas to him every single day. I love getting crap in the mail, right? I'm expecting a ton of more boxes over the next 2 or 3 days for this other thing I'm doing. Okay. So what I did is and now I ship this out. This gets carried past the gatekeepers and lands on the desk of the influencer. And then they open it up and they're like, "What the heck is this?" Right? I want that emotion. Curiosity, just like a hook, is the hook of this package. What? Not a conventional color. Why is it lumpy? What? Open loop. Okay. What on earth? And then this is the letter that came with it. Okay. Check this out. This is what I wrote. I said, the person's name was Jonathan. "Hey, I can't believe I'm writing. I've never met him. Nothing. Okay. This is it. Can't believe I'm writing this. I'm Steve, and this is totally from left field. Okay. So I'm calling out the awkwardness. Okay. Just wanted to pick up the mic. Get it? I know it's stupid. That's why it works. Okay. Don't try and be a pro here. All right. Please know, my thanks is very sincere. Hope to shake your hand in person one day because giants like you kept me going years ago. Right. And I was selling something to MLM Space at the time. My first MLM was years ago. Right. And I go through and I start telling the origin story. And I'm telling the origin story. And I'm going through and I tried this. I'm just using the Epiphany Bridge script. Wall. Right. Backstory. Internal, external. Wall. Epiphany. Plan. Conflict. Achievement. Transformation. And I'm going through it. And at the very end, that's it. There's no hook. There's nothing. Anyway, sorry. I'm glad and you guys have heard the story. It's the same story that I told you guys about my dad telling me no. I'm so glad that I said no, or my dad said no. Just want to say hi and mention how much I truly expect you guys. Looking forward to shaking your hand one day. That's it. There's no ask. There's no pitch. There's nothing. Okay? Nothing. The very next day or the very next month, I sent another package with something else that was lumpy. And it was a hook. It was another story, right, that I would tell inside of the funnel, right? You guys have written tons of stories now. You have a story for the squeeze page, a story for the sales page, a story for the OTO, right? That's 3 stories. Whatever stories you told inside there, you can rework them and put them out in front of these influencers, okay? When we launched this, I had 22 Dream 100 people reach back in a week. That's crazy. That is not normal. Okay. This strategy worked insanely well for me. I just wrote the script in a way that is adding value to the influencer. Okay. Make sense? It got real easy for them to respond back to me when I told them I had my own show and I'd like to interview them. It's a great lead-in. I'm not asking for anything. Okay. I'm not asking for anything. What did I just say though? Hey, I'd like to increase your status in front of your audience. You cool with that? Sweet. Yeah, here's my show. Why don't you come jump on in? Here's my Calendly link. Come choose the time in my calendar. I'll make my time available, whatever you want. Right? Super, super hands-offy. Not, will you promote my product? Freaking hate that. Blah, blah, blah. Terrible. Okay. How does our origin story add value to the influencer? Not sure I understand. You missed it. You missed it. What was my opener? I hope to shake your hand one person one day because giants like you kept me going 4 years ago. I'm just stroking their ego, man. That's it. That's it. And that's totally cool. That's totally cool. It's called selling, right? Just wanted to say hi. I mentioned how much I truly respect you for what you accomplished, right? And the real inspiration you probably didn't know you are. Look for that handshake. You know how hard I work? You know how hard I work? Way harder than most people think I do. You know how cool it is to hear back from someone who's been following me, right? That's awesome. That is a door opener. That's all I was leading with. That's it. That's it. I'm being real. I'm not asking for anything in return. That's it. I don't even ask for anything in the next one, right? It's like several months that I'm just like, what's up? You're cool. And truly, I really appreciate you. And I'm being honest and sincere with them. And my letters get more intimate, right? And I'm going in, and at the beginning of each one of my letters, I start putting in little customized things because those data analysts told me about it. Hey, what's up? Hey, I know you're launching that cool product. It looks like the launch was really cool. Hopefully it went well for you. Just wanted to tell you X, Y, and Z, okay? I'm doing the exact same thing that I am inside of a sales funnel. It's literally a sales funnel in writing though, okay? At the end of the story, I don't resolve an opener, right? I don't resolve the concern here, right? There's something that my dad told me that changed my life forever. Anyway, just wanted to say hi to you. They're like, what did your dad tell you? Right? That's what I lead with. My dad told me no. He told me that he's not going to give me money, right? And I have to keep running hard, right? Now it's a soap opera series, man, right? At the end of each episode is a hook to the next one. And now they're like looking for my packages. And there's all this stuff in it. It's like, what? Yeah, Dunzo, baby. Woo! Right? That's some powerful crap marketing right there. That's amazing stuff. That's amazing. And now 4 or 5 packages in, 4 or 5 communication pieces in. I don't care if it's packages, whatever, right? Then I'm like, you know what? I was just thinking, I got this show. Do you want to get on it? Man, they see how much time I've spent trying to create a relationship. There is an emotion, right, of reciprocity that has developed. That is what you're going for. I've developed reciprocity and I've increased their status. I've let them know I'm not a psycho, which is important. Okay. You never know, right? I don't know. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? I don't want you to make me look like an idiot in front of my people, right? That's all the fears that are going on inside their head. And so when you walk up to them and you convince them, hey, look, I'm not a psycho. I have real value. By the way, I can increase your status this way. You want to get on my show? Can I interview for my blog? Hey, why don't you come on a Facebook Live? That'd be great. I'd love to have you. Your time, totally available. If you don't want to, totally fine as well. Totally fine with that. Very, very, right? That is a method. And that's how I did it that way. Okay. And it's amazing. From that, only having my stuff going for that, we had the top podcaster of my category reach back out to us. Okay. Huge influencers, massive authors, huge. You guys know the books. You guys know the people. I don't know if I can say them here. Okay. Okay. You know them. I know you know them. Okay. Huge reach back out and say, oh, hey, that's super cool of you. Victory. That's all I wanted. Not, yeah, let me promote your thing and dedicate all my time and resources to making you successful, Stephen. That's all. That's like the expectation that most people start with when they start Dream 100 crap. Like, no, just a relationship is all you're going for. That's it. And it's going to lead to great things, right? And then I can go out and I can do a Facebook Live on that person's page talking about how cool their product is that they just launched out. That just increased their status again, right? There's tons of, you're just looking for ways to make them look like a rock star, okay? Anyway, I have gone a long time on this one. I'm just real passionate about the Dream 100, okay? I want you to know how big of a deal it is. It's a huge deal. And when you're publishing and you have kind of a product done, you're qualified to start this. That's it. It's just all of you, okay? This is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's how Chet Holmes circled up the chain, right? He traded up the chain of influence to get his screenplay into Hollywood. right? It's how he got his magazine to be from the bottom, from the very top. This principle is huge. It's a massive deal. Okay, do not sidestep it. This is marketing. Okay, but now instead of marketing to a prospective customer, you are marketing to people who are further down the path than you are, hoping that they can shortcut years. Okay, that's why you dedicate time to this. One person in saying your name is worth like a decade. Okay, it's worth so much time. It's worth so much audience building effort and energy and stress and anxiety. That's why we do this. That's why I do it. But I'm super excited. Your head hurts, yeah, right? Okay, just keep it. Don't stress out about it. I'm just trying to teach you the 30,000th view of this, and so you understand more of how this whole thing happens. Okay. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you. Oh my Lanta, I gotta yell one more time. Holy crap. Steven, where do you look for data scientists? I just told you that. Freaking Google it. I love you.